Hello, it's time for another video. It's October, 'tis the month of Halloween. For the podcast, we are covering all of the Child's Play movies for this year's Halloween Super Duper special. So we hope you enjoyed that chat, and perhaps next week I might have a brief overview of the whole series. I might get to watch some episodes of Chucky at last, which would be good. Might even do that today. It's a lazy day. I'm still wearing my Jaws pajamas. So I did, however, think that this week just offer some last minute suggestions for maybe some horror movies you hadn't considered slotting in the schedule for first time viewing options. Starting with pretty much anything in this excellent Norman G. Warren set from Indicator, or I can't recall if the films are streaming elsewhere. Norman G. Warren is a fascinating British horror director. I think I may have mentioned him before, and I believe, I could be wrong, we've covered so many, I believe we covered Prey on the podcast. Prey is, it's like a strained lesbian love story mixed with extra, mixed with a dark comedy about being a gracious dinner party host despite whatever madness may be going on around you. It's a very unique viewing experience, and I think it's really good. It's probably Warren's best movie. When I first watched it, I did not really enjoy it, and it remains a strange one in that, you know, I don't think many people will watch it and come away then thinking, well, that's a new favourite film. But you could certainly appreciate everything that he's mixed in there. I've seen all of these, so Satan's Slave is really like basic, straightforward stuff. Terror is a British take on Suspiria, kind of. Obviously not as good as Suspiria. Inseminoid is kind of like a rip-off of Alien, but also feels like an adult skewed Doctor Who special in terms of the production design and levels. And Bloody New Year is a lot of fun. Like, if you can get this set at a reasonable price, I highly recommend it. I upgraded eventually from the coffin box set that I'd had for many years from Anchor Bay, but I still have the Pete Walker collection in the coffin box set. I still have a few. I've got the Tygon, and I've still got the Amicus. I will upgrade when I can. Pete Walker is another British horror director. He just does like excellent stuff. He's very good at mixing proper horror elements with scathing commentary on parts of British society. So any film in this set is good. Maybe not Die Screaming Marianne, because it's more of a very standard thriller, and it's also, I would say, the one that has the biggest problem with pacing. But The Comeback is fun. House of Mortal Sin, House of Whipcord, and Frightmare are all near minor classics. I would say it's been a while since I've watched them myself, so I need to revisit some Pete Walker. But he's a name you should know. You should check out his movies. You will have a good time with them if you're willing to go back to that era with your horror. And last but not least, I made a couple of purchases bulking up my genre franchise selections for a horror name that's probably been used and abused more than most. It's Amityville, The House on the Hill. I went for the DVD of Amityville 2 The Possession because I had it years ago and I really like the extras on this. I think the commentary from it's Kim Newman and Stephen Jones I think is excellent. I just think this was the best way to enjoy a movie that I've always loved since I first saw it when I was too young to realise the third act was largely ripping off The Exorcist. It's arguably better than the first movie, which is a bit of a haunted house classic, but also has a number of flaws, especially when you're old enough to know how much wasn't necessarily true. The Blu-ray of the original movie, I think you can now get packaged with the documentary My Amityville Horror by, I can't remember the name of who that's about. It's the son of, it's one of the Lutz children, anyway, discussing his viewpoint and his life, basically after living at this house. It's very good, but I even like the Amityville Horror remake. I'm not going to go too much further with these though, because they get terrible very quickly. This remains probably the standout of the bunch. Has also a great performance from Diane Franklin, who I think this was the first thing I'd seen her in, and it was just yeah, it certainly seared itself into my psyche for many years. At the other end of the spectrum, oh dear, I mean, again, I used to have the collector's edition DVD, which had, I think it was Kim Newman and Stephen Jones on there again, so I was tempted to look out for that, but I figure it's a bad film. Will it at least be fun in 3D? I'm not sure when I'm going to be brave enough to try that out, but I now have the option, so I'm going to try and watch it, certainly before my 3D player and TV ever packs up, which, touch wood, I'm hoping is no time soon. Yeah, so not one I recommend, but if you've seen the 3D and you think it's fun, then do let me know. I think the most fun 3D is still things that point out and try and get you. I was lucky enough to watch Friday the 13th Part 3D when it was shown on TV about, I think about 12 or 13 years ago now. That was great fun. Piranha 3D, My Bloody Valentine 3D, they're fun films, and yeah, I like it when 3D pops. I don't want to be immersed in a world with 3D. That doesn't do that for me. Movies immerse me in the world anyway. 3D should make me think I'm about to be poked in the eye with something. That's why I'm also the owner of Jaws 3D, and I have no shame in that. Anyway, enjoy your horror movie viewings for this month if you're indulging, and feel free to drop any obscure recommendations you might have stumbled upon. Do give us a subscribe and a like. It helps the numbers growing incrementally, and I do have a target number in mind whenever we get to the next competition. I still have a couple of nice box sets that will be offered up as competition prizes, so you know, I'm not going to do that every other week, because then people will just tune in for competitions and nothing more. I am going to make you have to listen to my ramblings more often than not, and occasionally have the competitions, but I'll be merciful this week. I know last week went very long. This week will be a lot shorter, but enjoy your October. I think next week will have to be a bit of extra discussion on Chucky, so I hope you can also drop your Chucky thoughts there, and yeah, check out the podcast that drops later today, and you know, check us out in all the regular haunts.